Hey guys, I'm excited to show you our new card. When I made this video, I didn't have the original sample to show you. I had misplaced it. Sorry, my cats decided that I'm not allowed to film it right now. So I didn't have the sample to show you guys when we started the card. I knew how to make it, so you won't see the card in the video until the very end. But I do go through all the steps, obviously. Remember, you can always get supplies at fabulousstamper.com and click shop with me, and you can buy the various supplies from me. And anything retired that I ever show you, you can always buy some from some of my friends, and I also post that in the video. So be sure to check them out because they have great sales on various different retired products a lot of the time. Thanks for watching. Please comment, share, like, subscribe, all the things. I really appreciate you guys. And yeah, thanks just for being here. I really just appreciate you wanting to learn. It's a pretty fun little card. It's quite 3D. It's a little fussy, but it's pretty awesome. I can't pretend that the effect isn't really amazing. So, all right, well, you guys have a great day. Thanks so much. And I'm going to make sure my cat gets fed because he hasn't been fed in, like days, clearly. Days. He hasn't been fed in days, i.e. like a few hours. So clearly he's starving and wilting away. So I'm going to go ahead and feed him. And I appreciate you, and you have a great day. Thanks so much. Hey guys, so before I got started with our craft, I can't find my sample card, so I'm just going to show you what I cut out ahead of time. I cut out the Ferris wheel and the little buckets that go in the Ferris wheel. I cut out a bunch of little ones, and they come as one piece where you're cutting out 6 at a time. So I cut out a whole bunch of them, and I cut out a few of these Ferris wheels so that I was able to make the cards. So these are the dies. These are the Boardwalk Fun dies. All of these are available at fabulousstamper.com. You can actually buy this stamp set and these dies right now. And even the machine that will cut these out. It's not like an automatic machine. It's like a little hand crank machine. If you've seen my other videos, it'll cut, these little metal pieces can be cut out of paper. And it's just like a rolling machine that like puts enough pressure to cut the little pieces out. It's better than hand cutting it. So I cut out those pieces. We're not using the stamps today. These are the stamps. You see, this is a giant stamp. So we're not going to be doing the stamp, but that's for another video. But you can buy this suite right now on fabulousstamper.com. Click shop with me and Boardwalk Fun. And just make sure when you're checking out that it says Jennifer Jenkins as the person you're buying it from. It just helps me out if you do. If you don't, that's okay too. So then the paper we're going to use is a retired paper. And this is called Sunshine and Rainbows. I love this paper. I don't know. I just can't get enough of this paper. It's just so cute. So we're going to be using Bermuda Bay and a sheet of the Sunshine and Rainbows. And then we're going to need a little white one. Okay. So, and there's a little scrap in here too, I think. Yeah. So there's a couple pieces. So Sunshine and Rainbows really is rainbow paper. Look at it. It has all these great rainbows in it. It's retired. I've obviously used a ton of it in various cards because I do love rainbows and sunshine, and I just have a thing for rainbows. My mom loved rainbows, and look, they even have green and blue rainbows. I just love that it's not just a traditional red, yellow, orange, red, orange, yellow type, rainbow. It's all kinds of rainbows, which is pretty cool. I just think it's fun. I just love rainbows. I think they're they just bring me joy. You know what I mean? When you see a little rainbow on something, it just makes you smile. So I'm not using, this paper didn't have any rainbows on it. It had like a rainbow towel type stripe, but I really liked this swirly piece. I thought this was a really fun piece. So I'm using the little swirls as our base layer. So this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I have ribbon too that goes with it that we're going to be using. And so this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And then I think this is Highland Heather. The Highland Heather is 4 inches by 5¼ inches. Green ribbon was right in front of my eyes. Oh, goodness. My brain is not functioning fully. So we're going to take our tape. We're going to take our green ribbon. This is Lemon Lime Twist ribbon. It is from a few years ago. It's from clearance ribbon, but again, you can use any ribbon you want. This is Lemon Lime Twist finely woven ribbon. Again, this is not available for sale. Let's see, do I want the curls going down? No, I want the curls going this way. If you don't have this ribbon, it's okay. Use another color. I'm using a variety of colors in this craft, so I'm sure you've got one that will match the colors that you've wind up using. And so let's go ahead and let's okay. All right, there we go. And we're going to glue everything down. This is the inside. I'm going to take a scrap that was from when I was trimming. There was a little piece, and so it's just a little, when you're trimming your pieces, you'll wind up with these little tiny scraps. I like to put them inside the cards because 1, it uses up the scraps, and 2, it just adds a fun little element inside your card. So the basic layout of the card is simple. The hard part is just the gluing part of the little Ferris wheel, and you'll see why in a minute. But I'm excited to show it to you. I'm sorry I couldn't you'll see it in the intro video that I wind up doing. Sometimes I have to do my intro videos after the video is done because sometimes I just can't do them ahead of time or forget, depending on what I'm doing. So I'm just being honest, you know. I'm not very good at lying to you guys about stuff. As you saw with my Stitch Miss videos, sometimes I had to pre-record them. I couldn't do them every day. Sometimes it's a little hard. Okay, I'm putting a little extra glue there, so make sure it stays. All right, and then we're just gonna put our little layers down. And I tape the down, so in case this is your first video, I tape the ribbon down because 1, Scotch tape is pretty cheap and it secures your ribbon pretty well so that it's at least secured until you can get the glue down here. So if you go onto Amazon makes these punches, or I think this is from EK Success. I bought this a few years ago. Yeah, it's from EK Success. I think they still make this or a version of it. Another one that you can buy if you can't find this one, you can also use circles. You've seen me use circles to make Mickey heads. I just happen to have this one. I thought I'm going to use it this time. Another one you can buy that I'm pretty sure is still on Amazon is this big one. And you see how it has a variety of Mickey. Here, let me turn it over because they're shine. You see how it has a variety of sizes of Mickey heads. You can also use this one if you need. This one has been really handy dandy when I needed like a little baby Mickey head. So we're just going to punch out a Mickey head and out of black. Mickey silhouette or whatever they call it. I just call it a Mickey head. Hidden Mickey, whatever. And then I'm going to punch I think this is crushed curry. I didn't want to use Daffodil Delight yellow. I wanted to use a bright yellow or like a sun yellow, you know, as opposed to a lighter yellow, because on the Ferris wheel at California Adventure, there's a sun behind the Mickey head. And I just think that's kind of cool. And I thought we should take advantage of that and use that. So we're going to use a dimensional on the back of that. So we're done. So this is a 1 1/4 inch punch with the Mickey head going perfectly in the center. So again, regardless of whether you use little circles and make your own Mickey head like I've done in other projects, or if you use one of these EK Success ones, it's all going to work out and look fine. So let's get our glue dimensionals. So I wanted Mickey's head to be in the center here of this yellow. So I'm going to glue it on first because I glued it after last time and it wasn't as good. Okay, perfect. We'll get that down. Then we're going to glue all of our little buckets together. So we're going to set that aside. We're going to take our Ferris wheel and I'll show you my messy little basket. Hold on. Let me move this to the side. Oh, look, you can even see. Look, I had tried to make it, I was trying to make it with circles and having trouble. So here are my extra circles, you see. So, I mean, I can make a Mickey head with circles. I've done it many times, but I decided not to in this situation and just use the Mickey silhouette that I already had. So, all right. So what I did was I cut out all these little buckets because I wasn't sure how many I would need. You actually need 2 of each color. There's a total of 12. So let's go ahead and take all of our little pieces out. Oops, we have that color already. 2 pink, I need another purple. I have them in the basket just so I don't lose them. This basket is bending. I wonder what I did to it. It's just from the Dollar Tree, but I must have put it somewhere that had it bending. This is my Cinderella basket. The ribbon is all woven in between, and I used to have a shoe glued to the outside, and the shoe fell off, but it's so cute. All right, let's go ahead and pop that down. All right, I think that's all the colors, yeah. So it's good to have a little basket, keep your stuff from getting lost, you know. All right, so now this is the part that's a little tricky. It's just gluing all the little baskets on. It takes a minute. So I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward this part because it does take a second. So you only put a tiny bit of glue, just the tiniest bit. You only need a fraction to, hopefully you can see, I'm gonna zoom in. You see, you only need a fraction of glue, fractional, like tiny, oh, don't get on my card. Okay, you only need a tiny, tiny drip of glue to adhere it. So this is the fussy part, is gluing the little buckets on. But the effect when I'm done is so worth it. It's so cute when it's all finished. All right, there we go. So sweet. So you just glue your little buckets on one at a time. And I'll fast forward through this because it's pretty boring in my opinion. But I just glue a tiny bit. I don't even put it on the entire thing. You can if you want, but I don't even put it on the entire thing. I just usually barely touch the tip of the glue. Oh, see, that's too much glue. So we'll wipe some of it off. But see, just the edge of the glue bottle is usually enough to adhere these tiny little pieces down. You don't have to slop a ton of glue on there. It's just enough to hold it in place. Because paper glues to cardstock glues to other cardstock pretty easily. All right, fast forwarding now. Okay, so what I did was, since the glue kept coming out of the bottle a little too quickly, what I did was I scooped some of it off on the edge of this little black piece, and I just had it on the edge, and I just dragged the buckets over the top edge here so that it wouldn't keep slopping around. It was just quite messy. So that just kind of helped keep the glue from making as much a mess as it was making. All right, so now we're gonna glue, just add a little glue here in the center, just a touch, and center it. And we're gonna center our circle right in the middle. Since we already centered the Mickey head, it's a little easier to manipulate this circle and the Ferris wheel together once the Mickey head's already attached. That's what I found. When I tried attaching the Mickey on top of this, it was a little too much. It's like too busy for your eye. So there's our basic Ferris wheel. Oh, this one over here is really giving me a hard time. It's like, here, I'm gonna see if I can replace it. There we go. It ripped. It like is a little ripped and bent. So let's go ahead and just replace it. I have a bunch of them. So I have more than I needed. We'll just see if we can get a little tiny bit of glue and not a ton. Oh, there we go. Of course, we're gonna get a ton. So I'm gonna just take that little bit. There we go. And so that helped me to spread a tiny bit on there. Just that little piece of paper did help me spread a tiny bit on there. Just a little trick. If your glue is just, I think it's because it's a new bottle of glue. When I made my first cards, I didn't have new bottles of glue. It was only old bottles. So they were a little more forgiving. Less glue would squeeze out really quickly, but that was not the case with this bottle. So now for our little Ferris wheel, now that everything's dry and on, and I don't know if you noticed, but the red Ferris wheel perfectly outlines, it gives you the perfect little spot to glue your bucket. Like it even perfectly proportions the shape all the way around. So you really never have to worry about it being the wrong shape or whatever. It will match, and you just have to slide it into place. And there will be red behind. You see how there's this tiny bit of red? There's a tiny bit of red behind the buckets. Well, some of it's the circle. Even on this one up here, there's a tiny bit of red because it's the spoke coming up the top. And that tiny little bit of red behind the pink bucket is intentional because it's the continuity of the image that they wanted to keep. So, all right, we're gonna add a few dimensionals to the center there. And I'm actually gonna take, I have a little piece, or I did, I might have misplaced it. Oh, here's a piece, here we go. Remember how I was cutting, I don't know if you remember from my other videos, but we also sell, Stampin' Up! Also sells dimensional squares that are not cut out into little octagons or hexagons. And you can cut whatever shape you want. So you can cut letters out of it, all kinds of stuff. It's like pretty cool. So that's where this came from. This is just an extra piece I found in my little bucket here. And I'm just gonna put one at the base on each base. You could even put a long, narrow one there. I'm just not gonna push my luck. So, all right. So, and then we're just gonna peel off our pieces. Oh, you know what? I think this one is gonna be too much because we wanna have our Ferris wheel over the top here, but not attached to the ribbon. So you only want the dimensionals on the top half here, not on the bottom. All right, let's get, yep, we got all that done. And then I just put it to the corner here. And these little stripes actually kind of help you align it a little to keep it straight. There's a little, I see a little bit of glue right here. So if you have a glue eraser, just gently, very, very gently see if you can pull that little bit of glue off, but it's not a big deal if you're too nervous to do it. That's okay too. There have been different, when I first started crafting, I would have just been too afraid that I'd tear it. So, all right. So then these dots are the in color dots from, these in colors are retiring. I believe these embellishments are still available from FabulousStamper.com. They're in color dots, matte dots, I believe. That's what they're called. And these are the colors that we had for the last 2 years, but they're retiring now. So I went ahead and thought, okay, these will be good to add like a little counterbalance to the side here. And so I've got big, small, small, and let's go big again. And then we'll do big, and then we need one more. We need the green. And I'll do a small. And I don't want them to ever be like totally in line. Yeah, that's the green. That's the, it's called, not Coastal Cabana. Summer Splash. This is called Summer Splash, and this is Shamrock. And this is Peach Pie. And this is something pretty pink and purple petunia, or pretty petunia or something. Petunia Pop. And so, but I thought, isn't that a fun little card? You know, now the complicated part is this, because gluing all those pieces is tedious, but look at the effect. I mean, what a gorgeous little card. I mean, and it looks just like the Ferris wheel in California Adventure, and I'm having the hardest time remembering the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about. So here's my fun little Ferris wheel card, Mickey Mouse Ferris wheel card. It's called, I think, a Funshine wheel or something like that. I forget. I'll think of it. So, well, thanks so much for tuning in, you guys. I really appreciate you. And, you know, comment, like, all the things, share, whatever you want to do. I appreciate it. And just thanks for being here. Thanks for learning about my new craft. And I hope you have an excellent day. And thanks for just supporting my channel by just being here. So, all right, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.